Today I want to talk about open relationships. Because I think I've sat back for weeks and just heard everyone's idea of it. And you know what's funny? It's mostly people who've never, attempted it, never tried it, never anything, never done any research about it, that have the most critical views of it. And they're so certain it would not work for me. And the more I hear these people's current relationship problems, the more I'm like, this is exactly what would work for you. But your mind is closed. So I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. In the end, what I've come to is the best way to understand open relationships and closed relationship is to put minded in between the two words. And I'm not saying it to be judgmental, and I'm not intending to be judgmental. It's just an observation. Open-minded relationships, closed-minded relationships. What I mean by that is, in a closed-minded relationship, thank you. You don't decide the terms. The terms have already been decided way before you were born. Society and a group of other people who has a set of moral beliefs and religious beliefs decided the rules of relationships, and you're just expected to follow them blindly, period. If you don't do it, you're villainized. You're the cheater, you're the bad person, you're the reason of the breakup, and that's the way it works. Those are the closed rules. I got the point. In an open relationship, the two people who are involved in the relationship sit down and they decide the terms. That's the main difference. And I'm not saying there aren't open relationships out there where both people are just out there free, living their life, nothing. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm saying that's not the case in every open relationship, because that's not what all of the two parties agreed. Those people that you see out there living their lives and blah, 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 they probably agreed that's what worked best for them from the standpoint of A, what they wanted, and B, what they were comfortable with. Those are the two things you discuss, or really, there's three things that you discuss, right? Number one, who you are. Who am I naturally? Who was I before you met me? Just so you're not holding my actions to any ill will toward. If I was a promiscuous person before I met you, and I've been that my whole life, and now you're thinking of spending forever with me, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, look, listen, I'm not gonna play that game and tell you, I'm gonna do this forever and ever and ever, and you never had to worry about, I'm not gonna play that stupid game. I'm just gonna be real. Look, you should know this about me. I might be able to do this shit for a few months, couple years. Nigga can't do it forever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you got to be able to have that. That's where you have that conversation. Who you are. Then, both of you have that conversation. Well, me, I'm someone, all right, cool. Then you discuss both, and then what you're comfortable with. Well, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm not comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they're more comfortable knowing. Some people, they're more comfortable not knowing. Some people, they're more, if it happens, how do we, you know what I mean? You discuss the things. Once you've discussed them, now everything's on the table. Everything's out in the open. Both parties know exactly who each other are and what you're comfortable with from a sexual standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, because it's important to know those things. Do you know why? Because that's where compromise happens. You can't compromise outside your comfort zone, because that's not called compromise. You're now catering to. I wouldn't even, you're, what's the word? To me, that's over-compromise. To me, that leads to resentment. You can't continue to not do or do something you're not comfortable doing forever. There's a time limit. So when you compromise within your comfort zone. Okay, but now you know everything about each other. Who you are, what you're comfortable with. That gives you a lot of wiggle room to decide terms that you're both comfortable with and that you both find reasonable. And you know what? And at the back end of that, at least for me, it puts you more at ease. Because it's like, okay, cool, now I know everything there is to know about this person. This person knows everything there is to know about me that could be harmful or dangerous to us in the future. That actually makes your bond tighter. It actually prepares you for the future better than let's just blindly go into this. And if one of us fucks up between now and forever, we'll just go through the process. The process says we gotta argue, fight, this person's a bitch, this person's a dog, this person's a cheater, we gotta break up, yeah, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the plan. That's for some people, that's the plan. Or get to for forever being perfect. Now you've had the conversation. For some people, you might find it brings your relationship and sex life to a level you never thought it would reach. Because now you guys have discussed things that now you've discovered there's some certain things that you probably were afraid to even bring up or bring to the table that you're both interested in. Like, who knows? But at the end of the day, you're now operating within the comfort zones of each other after you've gotten a chance to know exactly who the other is and make a decision as to whether or not you've accepted that person. Some people find that conversation necessary and even to the extent of detrimental. And some people don't. I'm not here to make those choices for people. I'm here to explain my perspective. I find that conversation extremely valuable, and I find that it actually increases the chances that we get to a 50-year anniversary. And that's the definition of an open relationship. Because I guarantee you, if you and your partner sit down and have those honest conversations when you're ready about who you are and what you can handle comfortably forever, you'll find that the rules of a closed, typical relationship that says, we can do this forever, may not work for you. And so why wouldn't you want to set the terms then? Why wouldn't you want to adopt new rules? And yes, once you do that, your relationship is no longer closed. Your rules can have closed rules in it. You can agree to some closures that work within both of your comfort zones. But you know what I mean? But it's not by definition the typical closed relationship anymore, because you've changed the rules. I encourage it. I hope I didn't offend anyone. And people act like I'm on some. And here's the best part. Once you've set the terms, it's completely optional as to whether you share that with any other soul. It can remain solely between you, and let the fucking idiots speculate. They're out there doing this. Who cares? It was never about them. It was never about, they weren't at the table when these things were being discussed. They don't have to know who you are and what you're comfortable with. They don't have to know what who your partner is and what your partner's comfortable with. They're not included. They're not privy. So if they choose to spend their lives allocating a part of their focus to your relationship, can't tell people how to live their life. Live your life, baby. But you go ahead and live your life. And when people are confused as to why you work, why your relationship doesn't have the same problems as a bunch of others, just smile. Be like, we had a conversation.